So to be sacked as the manager of a football club is obviously a very disappointing thing to happen, but there's certain ways that you can be sacked. And one of the ones that is frowned upon and that really does not come off very well is being sacked by text, especially when it's late at night. But that's exactly what happened to Gary Alexander, the manager of Ashford United. He received a text message around about 20 past 10 at night. He was actually watching I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here on the telly at the time, and that basically dismissed him from his post as manager. The entire circumstances of this are quite controversial, so we'll be looking at it all in this video. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. If you want to stay up to date with football up and down the pyramid, in the Football League, Premier League and in the National League in particular, very, very good coverage of those leagues on OneFootball, link in the description down below. So Gary Alexander is a player that's made hundreds of appearances in the Football League with the likes of Leyton Orient, Millwall and Brentford, but has dropped down into non-league in the last few years. He was previously manager of Greenwich Borough but took over at Ashford United at the start of this season. So the club play in the 8th tier, and last season they finished in the 21st place in the league, so brought in Alexander and he's managed to actually build them up to be a lot higher in the table in the Bostik League South East. The club was sitting in 7th place when he was sacked on the 24th of November, so a big improvement on what they were doing last season, but the board obviously decided that they weren't happy. They'd lost their previous 3 matches. The club rung him at about 20 past 10 in the evening. He was watching TV, sat in bed, and he missed the call, but then he received a text afterwards saying basically that he was sacked as manager. Pretty much at the same time, his assistant manager and physiotherapist were also sacked. On the manner of his sacking, Alexander told Kent Online that it came as a bit of a shock, but if that's how you want to do it and that's what you feel is good, no problem. We have different aspirations. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be saying things if you don't want to achieve them, and I think we just grew apart. I don't need to slate the club. People can judge for themselves. There's clearly more than meets the eye. There's clearly something that's gone on between Alexander and the club. So really, it's not just results based, and maybe this could influence the reason that they chose to sack him via text. Maybe he's done something that's disrespectful, for example, or they've done a lot disrespectful to him and he's got annoyed by it. It could be literally anything. Who knows? But by Alexander saying that he and the club have got different aspirations, it shows that there are real differences in what they want to achieve. It probably makes sense to say that if that's the case, then Alexander can't be manager, despite the fact that he has actually done relatively well this season, or at least in comparison to last season. And also, according to Kent Online, the situation has not been helped by the fact that Alexander's not been able to fill his bench in recent weeks, and also that he suggested that the club weren't giving him enough financial backing. So maybe it is a dispute over money. If Alexander's not had enough financial backing or his budget's been cut, then managers are going to get frustrated because they budgeted to have certain players in their team and the club goes to him and says, look, we've got to cut that budget, so they've got to get rid of players that they promised they would pay and they'd give contracts to, and it's a bit awkward for the manager. A manager's going to have to tell players, look, you're going to leave, but I don't want you to leave. We just can't afford to keep you. That's a horrible situation for a manager to be in. But then again, if a football club physically can't afford the budget that they initially said at the start of the season, they had to cut it, then that's what's got to happen. And if the manager's not happy with that, then he might have to leave. Now, probably the most eye-opening quote that I saw on Kent Online during his interview with them is that he said, if I was to run a football club, I want it run properly, and maybe Ashford didn't want it run that way. Now, for a manager to come out and say that is a really big statement. Maybe it's disrespectful of the manager to the club, but maybe the disrespect shown by the club to the manager is greater in sacking him via text message. You could say that it's certainly unprofessional. At least if you're going to sack a manager, get him into the club, have him talk through everything, have a good conversation rather than just go in and sack him via text without giving him a chance to explain himself. And the Ashford United chairman, Derek Pestridge, has come out and said that the decision has been made in the best interests of the club, and now a new manager has been appointed as well. Tommy Warrilow was appointed on the 27th of November, and Alexander being sacked, he even came out and said that the way it all came out wasn't the right way. So it's interesting to see that their new manager is even saying that, you know, the whole situation isn't quite right. You know, it's all a very interesting situation, and let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts on it all are. Do you think it's really disrespectful to sack a manager via text message? Unprofessional as well? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, miss that like button and subscribe. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the season. If we get there, that would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, hope to see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.